The message glowed on my phone screen like a tiny bomb waiting to detonate. Your perfect life isn't what it seems. Check your husband's Instagram DMs. My hand trembled as I set down Oliver's sippy cup, orange juice sloshing against the plastic sides. My 1-year-old banged his spoon against his high-chair tray, oblivious to how my world was about to implode. I'm Callie, and until this morning, I thought I had everything figured out. Funny how one anonymous text can make you question your entire reality. Mama, more, Oliver demanded, holding up his empty cup. I moved on autopilot, refilling it while my mind raced through possibilities. Reed had been working late more often lately, but that was normal for an architect with demanding clients, wasn't it? My phone buzzed again. Another message. He's not at the office right now. Check the Grove Hotel. The Grove was 15 minutes from Reed's firm. I'd planned their holiday party there last year, before leaving my event planning career to stay home with Oliver. My stomach churned as I remembered Reed's insistence that I quit. We don't need the money, he'd said. Oliver needs you more. I grabbed my phone and opened Instagram, hands shaking as I logged into Reed's account. He'd left it signed in on my phone months ago, a mistake he'd probably regret. The most recent message thread was with someone named Tessa Monroe. My thumb hovered over it for a moment before I tapped. The first image loaded, and my world stopped spinning. Reed and a stunning blonde, tangled in white hotel sheets. Her head thrown back in laughter, his lips pressed against her neck. The timestamp showed 30 minutes ago. Oliver's spoon clattered to the floor, snapping me back to reality. I picked it up mechanically, wiped it clean, and handed it back to him. My mind was already racing ahead, plotting my next move. Data. Oliver asked, looking toward the front door. Don't worry, baby, I whispered, my voice steadier than I felt. Mama's going to take care of everything. I pulled on my contacts and called Marissa. She answered on the first ring. Hey, can you watch Oliver for a few hours? There's something I need to take care of at the Grove. Marissa arrived within 15 minutes, her yoga mat still slung over her shoulder. One look at my face, and she knew something was wrong. Oliver's had breakfast, I said, grabbing my car keys. There's more food in the... Hold up. She caught my arm. You're shaking. What's going on? I showed her the photos on my phone. Her sharp intake of breath said everything. That son of a... She glanced at Oliver, lowering her voice. What are you going to do? I'm going to the Grove. My voice sounded strange, detached. I need to see it for myself. Callie, wait. Marissa's grip tightened. Think about this. Remember what happened with Sarah Mitchell? Sarah Mitchell, Reed's colleague who'd accused him of inappropriate behavior last year. He'd convinced me she was unstable, making things up for attention. I'd believed him completely, even defended him to others. This is different, I said, but my stomach churned. There are pictures. I know, honey, but storming in there... Marissa paused, choosing her words carefully. Maybe we should document everything first. Talk to a lawyer. The rational part of my brain knew she was right. But then my phone buzzed again, another message from the anonymous number. They're ordering room service now. Quite the romantic morning. I need to go, I said, pulling away. I'll call you. The drive to the Grove felt surreal. Every red light was an eternity, every green light too quick. I kept seeing that photo. Reed's lips on her neck, her perfect blonde hair. Those white sheets I'd helped choose for the hotel's renovation last year. I pulled into the parking lot, spotting Reed's Tesla immediately. As I sat there, gripping the steering wheel, a memory surfaced. Reed insisting I quit my job, saying Oliver needed me more. Now I wondered, had he wanted me dependent? Isolated? My phone buzzed. Room 412. Thanks for the intel, I typed back. But who are you? The response came instantly. Someone who knows exactly how you feel right now. And I want to help you make him pay. The elevator ride to the 4th floor felt like descending into hell. My phone buzzed again, not from my anonymous ally this time, but from Tessa Monroe herself. I know you're here. Let's talk woman to woman. Attached was a photo that stopped my heart. Reed holding a toddler with his exact smile, those same green eyes that Oliver had inherited. The timestamp showed 3 months ago. My legs nearly gave out.
A child.
He had another child. The elevator doors opened, and there she stood, Tessa Monroe, more stunning in person than in photos. She wore Reed's favorite blue dress shirt like a trophy. Callie. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I thought it was time we met. Where's Reed? My voice came out steadier than I felt. Getting coffee. He'll be back soon. She gestured to the open door behind her. Shall we? I followed her into the suite, my mind racing. The room smelled of Reed's cologne and coffee. Breakfast dishes littered the table, 2 plates, 2 cups. Such a normal scene for such an abnormal moment. That photo you sent. I started. My daughter, Emma. Tessa's smile widened. She's 15 months old. You do the math. The timeline hit me like a punch to the gut. While I was struggling through my pregnancy with Oliver, Reed had been. He didn't want you to know, Tessa continued, settling onto the couch. But I think you deserve the truth. Reed and I, we're building a life together. Emma needs her father. And Reed needs. To grow a spine? I cut in, fury replacing shock. To face his wife instead of hiding behind his mistress? Ex-wife, she corrected softly. The papers are being drawn up. Reed's just waiting for the right time to tell you. My phone buzzed again. The anonymous number. Don't let her manipulate you. Ask about the DNA test. I looked up at Tessa, whose confident smile had faltered slightly. Funny, I said, finding strength in my anger. Reed had a vasectomy 3 years ago. Want to try again with the truth. The color drained from Tessa's face so quickly I thought she might faint. Before she could respond, the hotel room door clicked open. Reed froze in the doorway, coffee cups in hand, his perfect facade crumbling as he looked between us. Callie, he breathed. I can explain. The vasectomy? I cut in. Or the fake daughter. Or maybe how you've been playing both of us. Reed's eyes darted to Tessa, who had gone completely still. You told her about Emma? She showed me the photos, I said, watching their silent exchange. But I'm guessing Emma's father isn't in the picture. That's why you needed a replacement daddy, right, Tessa? The coffee cups hit the floor. Reed stepped toward Tessa, his voice dangerous. Is this true? My phone buzzed again. The anonymous texter. Check his laptop. Password. Oliver0219. I spotted Reed's work bag by the couch. While they were locked in their own drama, I slipped the laptop out and typed in our son's name and birthday. Emma's father is in prison, Tessa was saying, tears streaming down her face. I just wanted. To trap me? Reed's voice cracked. To use a child to. Like you're any better, I interrupted, staring at his screen. Wire transfers to offshore accounts. Building plans that definitely aren't for clients. I looked up at my husband. This stranger, I thought I knew. Who are you laundering money for, Reed? He went completely white. Close the laptop, Callie. The FBI would be interested in this, wouldn't they? My hands were shaking, but my voice was steady. Maybe I should forward these files to them. You don't understand what you're dealing with, Reed whispered. These people. No, you don't understand, I said, standing up. You've left me with nothing to lose. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to give me full custody of Oliver and a very generous divorce settlement, or these files go public. Tessa laughed bitterly. Looks like we've both been played, Callie. He's not who either of us thought he was. My phone buzzed one final time. Now you have what you need. Make him pay. I hadn't expected Tessa to show up at my house 3 days after the hotel confrontation. Yet there she stood on my front porch, mascara-stained cheeks and trembling hands, while Oliver napped upstairs. They took him, she whispered. I almost shut the door in her face, but something in her expression stopped me.
Fear. Real fear.
Who took Reed? The people he works for. She glanced over her shoulder. They know about the laptop files. They think he told us everything. My neighbor Grant was watering his garden, watching us with poorly concealed interest. I pulled Tessa inside, my heart racing. What exactly does Reed do? I asked, leading her to the kitchen. I don't know details, but last night, 2 men came to my apartment. Her voice cracked. They said if we don't return everything we know, Reed won't be the only one who disappears. My phone buzzed. The anonymous texter again. Don't trust her. She's working with them. I studied Tessa's face, looking for signs of deception. Why come to me? Because you have the files. She reached for my hand. Please, Callie. Whatever revenge you're planning, it's not worth. The front door crashed open. Two men in suits entered, moving with terrifying efficiency. Grant appeared behind them, gun drawn. Federal agents, he announced, showing his badge. Mrs. Harper, step away from her. Tessa's grip on my hand turned violent. You don't understand what you're doing, she hissed. Actually, I do. I pulled free. Because I'm the one who's been texting you both. The look of betrayal on Tessa's face almost made me laugh. You. Reed's money laundering caught our attention months ago, Grant explained, handcuffing Tessa. Callie's been helping us gather evidence. And you played right into it, I added, watching her crumble, just like Reed did. My phone buzzed one final time. Not an anonymous text now, but a message from the FBI task force. Target secured. Reed Harper in custody. Well done, Agent Harper. I deleted the message, thinking of Oliver sleeping upstairs, blissfully unaware that his mother had just helped bring down an international crime ring. And his father with it. The holding cell at the federal building was cold and sterile. Reed sat across from me, orange jumpsuit replacing his usual designer suits, his perfect facade finally cracking. You were FBI the whole time? His voice was hollow. Even before our marriage?
No.
I traced the edge of the metal table. They recruited me 6 months ago, right after I found the first wire transfer receipt in your gym bag. Callie, he leaned forward, those familiar green eyes pleading. Everything I did was for us. For Oliver. The money was from helping criminals launder funds through your architectural projects. I kept my voice steady. I know everything, Reed, including what happened to Sarah Mitchell when she threatened to expose you. He flinched. I never meant for her to get hurt, but she did, and now she's in witness protection. I stood up, needing distance, just like Oliver and I will be.
What?
Reed's handcuffs rattled as he jerked forward. You can't take my son. Your associates are still out there, Grant interrupted, entering the room. We need to move them tonight. Reed's face contorted. You don't understand what these people are capable of. They'll never stop. Which is why you're going to help us catch them, I said. Or I'll make sure Oliver grows up never knowing your name. You're asking me to choose between my son and my life.
No.
I headed for the door. I'm giving you the chance to finally do one right thing as his father. Grant touched my arm as we left. You okay? I wasn't. In 12 hours, Oliver and I would disappear. New names, new lives, leaving everything behind. My parents would think their daughter died in a car accident. Marissa would never know what happened to her best friend. And Oliver would grow up with a mother who'd betrayed his father, who'd chosen justice over family. My phone buzzed, the task force leader. Target's associates moving in. Get to safe house now. I deleted the message, thinking of the packed bag at home, Oliver's favorite stuffed animal inside. One bag for our entire life. Some kinds of revenge leave scars on everyone involved. The safe house wasn't safe anymore. I knew at the moment I saw Grant's expression as he burst through the door. They found Reed's backup files, he said, already moving to grab Oliver from his playpen. Everyone he worked with, including us. They're coming. A crash downstairs. Heavy footsteps on the stairs. Take him, I whispered, pushing Oliver into Grant's arms. The tunnel we discussed. I'll buy you time. Callie. He's my son. I'll do whatever it takes. The door splintered open as Grant disappeared into the hidden passage with Oliver. 3 men entered, led by someone I recognized from Reed's company photos, Thomas Chen, his business partner. Agent Harper. He smiled coldly. Or is it still Mrs. Harper? Identity must be so confusing for you these days. Where's Reed? I kept my voice steady, positioning myself between them and the hidden panel, probably telling the FBI everything he knows. Thomas stepped closer. But what he doesn't know is that your son is the real target. Insurance, you might say. My blood ran cold. Reed would never. Reed doesn't make the rules anymore. He pulled out a phone, showing live footage of the tunnel's exit. And neither do you. But something was wrong with the image. The timestamp. Old footage, I said, allowing myself a small smile. From when your men installed the cameras last week. Did you really think we wouldn't sweep for surveillance? Thomas's smile faltered. Behind him, one of his men touched his earpiece, face darkening. The boy's gone, he reported. FBI teams at every exit. You were never the target, I said quietly. Reed's confession was a distraction. While everyone watched him, we tracked every single one of your organization's members. They're being arrested right now. Thomas lunged forward, but I was ready. The taser Grant had given me connected with his chest, sending him crashing to the floor as FBI teams flooded the room. Mom, Oliver's voice from the doorway. I turned to see him safe in Grant's arms, reaching for me. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying your enemies. It's about protecting what matters most, no matter the cost. 6 months later, I stood in my new event planning office, watching Oliver play with his blocks on the floor. The wall behind my desk displayed my restored business license, this time under my real name. No more hiding. The morning paper sat on my desk, the headlines still surreal. Architect Reed Harper sentenced in international money laundering case. Below it, a smaller headline, former partner Thomas Chin faces additional charges. My phone buzzed, a text from Grant. Tessa took the plea deal. Witness protection approved. I deleted the message, remembering her face in court when she'd finally told the truth about Emma's father. Sometimes the people we think are villains are just trapped in their own desperate stories. The door chimed. Marissa walked in, carrying coffee and wearing the same shocked expression she'd had since I'd revealed everything last week. Still processing that my best friend is basically Jason Bourne, she said, setting down the cups. Though I guess the event planning skills came in handy for undercover work. Speaking of which, I handed her a proposal. Would you like to be my business partner? For real this time. Oliver squealed as Grant appeared in the doorway, his FBI badge now worn openly. Ready for lunch? He asked, scooping up my giggling son. Actually, I said, I need to make one stop first. The prison visiting room was cold, but Reed looked colder. 3 years into a 15-year sentence had stripped away his polished facade. You're looking well, he said quietly. I am well. I placed Oliver's latest photo on the table. He asks about you sometimes. What do you tell him? The truth. That his father made mistakes, but he loved him. I stood up. When he's older, he can decide for himself. Reed nodded, understanding the gift and the warning in my words. Walking out, I thought about revenge and justice, how they're not always what we expect. Sometimes the best revenge is simply living well, building something new from the ashes of what was destroyed. Oliver was waiting with Grant and Marissa, my new family built from the wreckage of the old. Not a perfect ending, but a real one. And real was all I needed.